garden. We're at Dr. Sun Yat-Sen's classical Chinese garden. This is the one we went past a couple days ago, or maybe a week ago now. We decided not to come into because the pond was being restored, so there's a big swath of the garden that's sort of inaccessible, and as you'll see from some of this footage, it's not the prettiest, with some construction machines here and there, but the garden itself is really astoundingly beautiful. It's really too bad that we didn't get to catch it with the pond. The architecture and the trees, like some of the cedar, well, they're not cedar, they're pine trees, I guess. The classical kind of like Asian style bonsai, big bonsai looking trees. Really beautiful, and I can only imagine what the pond would do to the scenery here. And the architecture is really neat because there's spots set up, designed so that as you walk by, it looks like a framed picture. And there's lattice work around the outside. There's one really striking one which is round, and it has round lattice work around, and you look through it out into the garden, and it's really a beautiful, peaceful place. And again, it's like so many places we visit in big cities, it's a nice little tranquil spot within the hustle and bustle of the city around it. I can hear traffic and sirens and stuff off in the distance, but within the walls here, within the garden itself, it's really quite beautiful and just serene, and you can sort of let those sounds disappear and melt away and just sort of take in what's in front of you. So I'm glad we decided to come in and do this. Maybe we'll come back to Vancouver and we'll come back here and catch it when the pond is done. As we're walking around, we're learning a little bit more about the garden, and it was voted one of the 50th most beautiful gardens outside of China, which is quite a feat if you think about it, and it deserves it. I think it is really beautiful, and the architecture does remind me of some of the stuff we've seen in China, and it looks old, like it has an ancient kind of feel to it, some of it. Here, I'll show you. So the roof tiles, to me, look like they have some age on them. And I'm not sure what the actual proper name for one of these. There's Nicole over there walking up. So they call it a pavilion, the cloudy and colorful pavilion, which is up there in the middle. It sort of looks like I can't even think of what that would be called in an English garden. It's that thing that I'm talking about, sticking up between the trees, raised up on a bed of rock. And that would be a really nice high point to sit in and take in the garden here, looking down at the pond, or where the pond would be. And I really love the white walls. The whole garden is encased in white walls with really nice sort of lattice work built into the walls, and some of the entranceways are encased in like wooden lattice work. It's a really well put together garden. It's really nice, really enjoying strolling through here. What are your thoughts?
This place is so pretty, even though the pond is out of order. Is that what we call it?
It's missing.
The pond is missing, so I can't imagine.
Being repaired, yeah.
Can't imagine what it'd be like once it's in its full glory. And we are lucky because we came at the end of the day, and it's very quiet. So I really feel like it's tranquil and peaceful. It's just beautiful here.
Yes, I was saying that even though you can hear the city noises off in the distance and the traffic around us and sirens, that you do still get a peaceful, tranquil feel walking around and taking in the beautiful garden.
The landscaping is gorgeous.
Yeah, definitely deserving of being one of the 50th most beautiful gardens outside of China.
Definitely.
What were you saying about the materials?
I was saying all the materials in this garden were imported from China, from the tiles to the limestone that they used. And the master gardeners and architects are also Chinese gardeners that are specialists.
We found a bit more information to elaborate on what Nicole was saying about the specialist gardeners that came in from China to help build this garden. And some pictures here showing them working. There was 52 craftsmen and artisans that arrived from Suzhou, China, and it took them about a year to build this garden. And some Canadian counterparts, some Canadian gardeners helped them, and I guess learnt and probably were responsible for maintaining the garden once the original 52 returned back to China. And you can see that they're laying down the intricate tile work there that I was pointing out that I really thought was cool. Setting the design out first and then filling it in with stone. Very labor intensive. And there's the pavilion early on in the building of the garden. An amazing thing for Vancouver to have. I don't think we have anything quite this elaborate in Toronto. Any Asian Chinese garden in Toronto. So the garden. I'm really glad we made it in here. It was amazing. Wasn't what we were expecting. And again, as we've been saying, it'd be amazing with the pond, but even without the pond, it was well worth a walk through and just recentering a little bit. And now we're just finding our way out through the gift shop here, and we're gonna go get some boughs. We've come to Newtown Bakery again. I really wanted to hit this place up before we leave. We've only got 4 days left, so we were running out of time. And since we were at the Chinese Garden, which is just down the street, we thought we'd come over here for one last bao. We don't have a place in Toronto, unfortunately, that does baos in this way with the huge bamboo steamers, out front there, and tons of like huge fluffy baos. So I'm gonna do baos again. Nicole is gonna get something different. She's not feeling the hottest right now, so she's gonna get congee, which is sort of like her I'm not feeling well food. And I didn't make the same rookie mistake as last time and order all my food at once and then go to the washroom and come back to hard buns. I went to the washroom first, got that over with, and then put my order in, and I've only ordered one bun. So I'm gonna do one at a time. So I can get it nice and hot and fluffy and steamy as it's meant to be. So I'm just waiting for it to show up. I'm starving, so I'm really looking forward to getting this. I got the chicken bun again to start off with because that was so good. That was my favorite last time. But I will show it to you again, fresh and steaming. The bun has arrived. So this is my chicken bun. It's warm and soft. Nicole got a Chinese sausage bun, which I'm gonna steal a bite of momentarily. She's already downing that.
I'm shaking my head.
She's shaking her head. Fresh is the key. Order it and eat it. Don't let it sit around. The juicy meat. Again, just soaking up the juice into the bun. It's just really good. It's like a nice firm meatball. It's got a really good fresh flavor. It's like onion. I really get a lot of onion out of it. It's so good. It's so juicy. So Nicole's handed over her sausage bun, despite warning me she wasn't. This is a longer bun as opposed to being a round bun. And there's a Chinese sausage right through the middle.
Don't take a big bite.
And there's lipstick on it.
That's a big bite.
That's really good. They're generous with the sausage, eh? Chinese sausage is really good, really interesting. I don't know how you would describe that flavor. You just have to try it to understand it.
It's preserved.
Yeah, it's preserved. It's true. And it's got a good amount of fat. So yours is really juicy, and the sausage. Oh, I shouldn't say it. Yours is good.
I know.
I'm gonna finish up this bun and see what my hunger drives me to next. One bun just won't do. So I had to get another. This time I got spicy pork. And this one's much hotter than the previous one. I'm having a hard time holding it.
That probably just came out of the steamer.
Yeah. So this one has a defect. It's exposing itself. It smells good. But the bun is this one's really hot and soft. I wonder how spicy this is gonna be. It's not too spicy. It's a lot juicier than the chicken. And so the bun has a lot more flavor in it. And I've just grazed the meat so far. I can see there's carrots in it, some onion, and it has that like chili oil sheen to it. And someone's hands want to try it. Fine. What do you think?
The taste is very nice, but there's vegetables.
Nicole doesn't like it because there's vegetables. I don't know if you could hear her. She's like, it tastes very nice, but there's vegetables. I am enjoying it. The spice is quite tame, but it's kind of like a back of the throat kind of spice. It doesn't hit me immediately. It's like when I get it back, like when I swallow it, it gets me.
I like the juiciness.
Yeah, it's very juicy. There's chunks of mushroom. There's a bit of cabbage in there I can see. Hopefully the camera was picking up the steam coming out of this. This is really, really good. I'm glad we came one more time. And I wonder if this will be my last bun here. Kind of don't think so. So Nicole's not having bun. Well, she had the sausage bun. She has to have the sausage bun. She loves a good sausage. But she ordered congee. So she got fish congee, keeping up with the theme of eating fish while we're here. And I'm just having a little bit to try because I bought stuff from Granville yesterday. So despite eating all these buns and whatnot, I still have to go home and make dinner. But we wised up and we decided not to buy groceries for the rest of the week because we're just going to eat out. But let's try this congee. It's really good. It's got a really interesting consistency. It's not like normal to what we normally would get, is it? It's a bit thicker, I would say. And the rice is still pronounced. Like you can still feel the rice. It's got a good saltiness to it.
Don't forget your dough for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna try the fish first. Try some fish. That was a good call, Nicole. Getting congee with fish was really good. But when you have congee, you have to have fritter. They've chopped up the fritter for us. And you basically just dunk that right into your congee. And I think I can get this whole thing in my mouth. The dough fritter is a lot softer than what I'm used to. Usually when we get dough fritter from a congee place, it's I don't know how. So this one here to me is more bread-like. It has a much more. It's almost like a small French loaf that they've just deep fried. Whereas usually it's a lot crunchier and a lot. It's not as soft basically. Like this is really soft and feels like bread, which is not usual for the congee that we usually get back home. But it's really good, eh? Nicole's loving it. So I'm gonna have a little bit more congee, but I have one more thing I'm gonna order from the bakery itself. My last big good tonight is gonna be a coconut tart. I love Chinese coconut-based desserts, you know, like a coconut bun or a coconut cream bun or a coconut twist or a coconut tart. Always so good. And these things are huge. I was gonna try another steam bun, but I saw these in the case and it called to me. It's a lot bigger than what we would normally get. So let's just break into this. It's got a nice crunchy exterior. Like the top is sort of like melted coconut on it. I don't know how, I guess that's how you would explain it. It's like caramelized coconut. There you go. That is on point. That is an amazing coconut tart. The top is really nicely caramelized and the inside is nice and soft. And the coconut flavor.
It was my dad's favorite dessert. My dad's favorite baked good.
That was Nicole's dad's favorite baked good. He had good taste. All right, I'm gonna finish this up and I think we're gonna pack up here and head back to the condo, and I'm gonna change this battery that's flashing at me right now.
The building in front of me is a really interesting building because it was built by a very eccentric and extravagant publisher back in the, I think, 1930s. His name was Mr. World, and he built this building and shocked all the Vancouverites because he built a very tall building, and midway up he put 9 topless women with their boobies exposed for all to see.
And that created a lot of controversy?
Yeah, created a lot of controversy, but it was all the rage at the time in Paris, and he decided to bring a bit of Paris to Vancouver and shock the Vancouverites.
Nicole forgot to mention a tidbit about this building. Not only did it have a ton of boobies exposed, it was the tallest building in Vancouver at the time. Good factoids, Nicole. Good job pointing out the boobies.